Hi, welcome to yoga. I'm really happy you could join me for a gentle practice today that's requiring us to really slow down, listen to our bodies, and tune into our breath. We're going to begin in a lying down pose. So you might want to bring in some props. The ones that I brought with me today are a couch pillow. You can also use a bed pillow, as well as a cozy blanket. You can also opt to use no props, and we're going to come down on our mats. So if you opted for props, you're just going to bring those props underneath your knees and thighs and lower down onto your back, really allowing your lower back to press into the mat. The other choice is if you've opted for no props, you can bring your knees bent, bringing your feet out to the width of your mat and allowing your knees to come in together to support one another, which also presses your lower back into the mat. So either choice, listening to yourself and what feels good to you. And as you make your way into this pose, allow yourself to release. Maybe that is an audible sigh out the mouth. Allowing your body to soften. Feeling the support of your mat. Releasing that jaw. Allowing the skin around your eyes to relax. Arms can be either by your side or stacking hands, resting them on your belly. Once you find that spot that feels good to your body, bring your awareness to the gentle rising and falling of your own breath. Let the rhythm of your breath keep your focus, keep your attention. And allow your body to find some softness, some stillness. We're going to take a few more rounds of breath here before we transition into easy pose. Last breath here. And if you do have those props, we're just going to bring our feet up. So our knees are bent and our feet are flat on our mat. Allow your knees to fall to one side as you push those props out of the way. Bringing your arm to rest underneath your head. Eyes can remain closed or find a nice gentle gaze. And then when you feel ready, press yourself up into a nice, easy pose. Maybe that means pulling the skin away from your seat bones. Inhaling as we lengthen through the spine. Taking a few rounds of breath here. And we're just going to take a nice twist to the left side. So we're going to bring that left hand back behind and that right hand is going to come onto that left knee. Your gaze can go back towards that left shoulder or keep it out to the side of the room. Next exhale, release back to center. Take a breath here, and then let's twist to the right side. So that right hand comes back behind, left hand comes to right knee. Gaze may guide towards the back of the room or to the side. Listening to what feels good to your neck. Exhale, release back to center. We're going to extend that right arm out, allowing it to float above our mat, and just bringing that left ear to the left shoulder. Keeping your awareness with your breath. And then inhale, come back to center, extending that left arm, and then sinking that right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale, come back up, release that arm. And as we inhale, we're going to reach our hands up towards the ceiling. Arms can either stay wide or become narrow. And then on your next exhale, we're just going to find that nice forward fold. So keeping those seat bones really connected to your mat. This does not have to be a deep forward fold. Allow your head and neck to rest. And then on your next inhale, walking your hands back to center. Taking a breath here. And let's make our way into tabletop, coming onto all fours. Spreading those fingers out wide. Make sure wrists are below shoulders, knees are below hips. Feet can stay flat on your mat. And we're just going to sink back into child's pose. So this doesn't have to be a deep child's pose. If your seat bones do not come back to your heels, that is completely fine. And so we're just going to come in and out of tabletop to child's pose a couple times. So exhale as you sink back. Inhale as you rise. One more time. And then as we come up, we're gonna find bird dog. So we're gonna extend and lift that right leg up, finding that balance and extending and reaching forward with that left arm. Knowing that another option is keeping that left hand planted and just extending that leg. And then releasing, let's find that again, sinking back to child's pose. Coming up to table. Let's do this a couple more times. Last one here. Going back to center, lifting and extending that left leg. Staying here if this feels good to you. Or incorporating that that right hand as you reach forward. Exhale, extend. Let's find that movement again, sinking back into our child's pose. Coming into table. Just gonna do a few more rounds. Last one here. Staying in that tabletop, we're gonna come down onto our forearms, finding puppy. So fingers can either interlace or allowing our palms to keep that connection to our mat as we kind of sink back. Seat bones are still up, but we're kind of sinking back, getting into that upper back. Forehead may or may not touch the mat, which is completely fine. Keeping that connection with your breath. And then slightly lifting up, we're going to make our way into Sphinx pose. So like a caterpillar, we're kind of sinking down onto our bellies. Staying on our forearms, making sure our elbows are below our wrists. This is a nice, gentle back bend. So inhale as you lengthen here, allowing your shoulders to sink down your back. And knowing too that if the back bend, you need a little bit of a break, you can come down into crocodile, allowing one cheek to rest on the side of your face. And then come right back into that Sphinx pose. And then in your next exhale, we're gonna bring those hands directly below our shoulders and we're gonna press back into child's pose. So bringing your knees out to the width of your mat or allowing them to stay narrow, big toes come to touch, pushing our seat bones back to our heels. And knowing that we can stack the fists, allowing our forehead to rest on those stacked hands. Keeping that awareness with our breath. Releasing those hands, pressing up into tabletop, bringing our knees so they're below our hips. We're gonna tuck those toes and come into a nice, gentle downward dog. So that means that our knees have a nice bend in them. Maybe you alternate bending one knee and then the other if that feels good. If you need to step your feet out a little bit wider in your down dog, feel free to do so. Listening to your body and what it needs right now. And then we're gonna exhale, come back into that table, swinging those feet out to the side, coming onto our seat bones, extending those feet out. We're gonna inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then reaching our hands out, just gonna hinge forward. Keeping that back nice and flat. We're not curving into our body. And then inhale as we come up. We're gonna bring our feet in together, finding butterfly. So you can either keep your feet more away from the body or bring them in towards the body, whichever feels better. It might feel good to find some movement in those legs or allow them to find stillness. Hands are grabbing onto our ankles, or if your feet are out a little bit wider, maybe we find that grip on our knees. And then on your next exhale, allow the front body to fold forward slightly. Inhale back to center, bringing those knees together. If you're at the top of your mat or at the end of your mat, kind of coming to the center here. We're gonna find our hands, fingers pointing away from the body, and we're just gonna do some windshield wipers sitting. So allow your knees to fall from side to side. And then bring your knees back to center. We're gonna come on down to our forearms, lowering ourselves back onto our backs. And we're gonna bring one knee in, squeezing it into the body. And releasing it back down. Bring that other leg into the body. And release. We're gonna tee those arms out and find a gentle twist here. So allowing your knees to fall to either side. Your gaze can stay up towards the ceiling, or maybe it looks to the opposite side. On your next inhale, allow those knees to rise. Take a breath here, letting them fall to that opposite side, and then finding the gaze that works for your neck. Inhale, knees back to center. We're gonna walk our feet out to the edges of our mat, letting our knees come in together, supporting, and then bringing our hands onto our belly, stacking them. Just gonna do a short little Shavasana to finish our practice today. Allow your eyes to close if this is part of your practice. Let your body sink into the mat. Feeling a slight heaviness wash over yourself. And then gently begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Reaching your hands overhead. If it feels good to extend those legs and do a full body stretch, feel free to do so. And then rolling on to one side. Pressing up. When you feel ready, finding that easy pose, bringing your palms together, allowing them to rest at the heart center. Thank yourself for showing up today, allowing yourself to slow down, finding maybe a moment of rest in this practice today. Namaste.